Hell Yes Life, episode 18.
So many people, Norman, are just so busy. They're busy all day long. They get to the end of the day, they look back, if they even look back, and they say, what did I really accomplish? Sadly, most of them have been on what I call OPA all day. That's other people's agenda. Answering their emails, social media, requests, ask, help me, do this, do that. You know, that's part of life. I get it. I do that every single day as well, but only after I produce the right content for me, for my business, for my audience first. The best part of my brain cells, it happens at the beginning of the day, period. So that is what it means to be productive. You're producing the right content.
Welcome to the Hell Yes Life podcast, the show that helps you come alive so you can live a Hell Yes life. I'm your host, Norman Bell. Hey there, everybody. This is Norman Bell. Welcome to the Hell Yes Life podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I mean, if this is your first time here, let's get together and give a big shout out to the new people, all right? 1, 2, 3. Hell yes! You made it. Congratulations. You're taking a step towards your Hell Yes Life right now. Now, the Hell Yes Life podcast is here to give you inspiring stories and actionable tips that you can take away from our amazing guests that will motivate you to move towards your Hell Yes Life. We release episodes every Tuesday and now sometimes on Thursdays as well. And you can find show notes for the podcast at hellyeslife.com. Now, if you enjoy the podcast, I encourage you to write a review for us on the Apple Podcasts app. Your reviews are encouraging to us, and they help other people find and choose the podcast. Now, here's a shout out to one of our 5-star reviewers, Vanessa Phillips of Declare Possibilities Coaching. Now, Vanessa says, hell yes, Norman Bell's podcasts are an inspirational call to action to create a hell yes life. Norman asks great questions, and his guests have amazing stories to share. These podcasts help keep me focused on creating my Hell Yes life. Well, Vanessa, hell yes to you and the great work that you're doing out there as a coach, and thank you so much for the 5-star review. Now, Hell Yes Lifers, if you want to write a review, please visit hellyeslife.com/HYL iTunes, all one word, HYL iTunes. And when you do, include your business name or website or whatever important information you'd like to include, and I will mention it as I give you a shout out on the show. All right, now let's get into today's episode. Hell yes, lifers. Today I am excited because my special guest is John Lee Dumas of the Entrepreneur on Fire podcast, where John interviews today's most inspiring entrepreneurs 7 days a week. Now, here's just a few stats about John and EOFire. Since John launched EOFire in 2012, he has put out over 1,600 episodes. He has interviewed today's top entrepreneurs, including Tony Robbins, Seth Godin, Gary Vaynerchuk, and Tim Ferriss. The show was named Best of iTunes in 2013. EOFire generates 7 figures in revenue annually and gets over 1 million monthly listens. Last year, John released the Freedom Journal, which helps you achieve your number one goal in 100 days. And now he has released his follow-up, the Mastery Journal, which helps you master productivity, discipline, and focus in 100 days. And that's what we focused on in our conversation. Now, Hell Yes Lifers, to commemorate JLD's episode, I have created a special JLD on HYL Power Pack PDF, which includes a transcript of my interview, a list of key takeaways, and information on how to receive 10% off the price of JLD's Mastery Journal. You can download the PDF at hellyeslife.com/JLD. That's hellyeslife.com/JLD. Or you can just head over to hellyeslife.com on the homepage and there's more info there. Before we dive into the interview, a quick background story. So I launched the Hell Yes Life podcast back in early January. And the first round of people that I had on the show were people in my immediate network, people I knew, amazing people. And I'm honored to have had them on the show. And towards the end of January, I started thinking, wow, who could I invite now? I'm going to maybe see if I can invite 15 to 20 people that I feel are really playing at the top of their game that, if I had them on the show, it'd be a major hell yes. Now, one of those people was John Lee Dumas. So I sent out my emails to, like I said, 15, 20 people, and then crickets, nothing. I get nothing back for 2, 3, 4 days, 10 days even go by. And I pretty much had just written the whole thing off. But then on the 11th day, an email comes in and it's from JLD. And the email goes like this. Hi, NB. Thank you so much for the invite. I would be honored. And, initially I was excited when I saw that. Unfortunately, it says, I receive hundreds of requests a month. And at that point I thought, oh, well, it's not going to work out. And then it continues. And in order to serve as many people as possible, I can only book 15-minute interviews. Well, at that point, I actually jumped up and said, hell yes. You know what? Because 15 minutes with JLD is a total win. So that's right. This interview that you're about to hear is only 15 minutes long. But hey, there's an upside to this, which is I have this saying that I've been using lately, which is compressed time equals crystallized ideas. Compressed time equals crystallized ideas. And I think that's what we got out of this episode. Because there was only a very limited time that we had together, I focused in on what I thought would be most useful to you, Hell Yes Lifers, which is his new offering, the Mastery Journal. So we talked pretty much exclusively about that. And since time was compressed, I think John boiled down his ideas to those crystallized essentials. So I hope you enjoy this interview. Let's dive right in with John Lee Dumas. John Lee Dumas, thanks so much for joining me today. Are you ready to tell us about your Hell Yes life?
Norman, I am fired up. Hell yes.
All right. I'm excited. So I always like to start off by asking our guests this question. What is your hell yes? I.e., what's your passion, the thing that really lights you up and makes you come alive?
It'd have to be the ripple effect. I get passionate about having one-on-one conversations with successful entrepreneurs, but then knowing that those conversations are going to be inspiring the listeners of my show, Entrepreneur on Fire, to go off and do great things. And then those listeners who go off and do great things are going to inspire people that I've never met, that I never would have reached out and touched and inspired in any way, shape, and form. And that third degree, fourth degree, fifth degree of separation, that ripple effect, that gets me fired up.
Oh, yeah. And you've had such a big effect on so many people out there, entrepreneurs and otherwise. Amazing stuff. So again, I know our time is limited here, so I wanted to focus on one of your latest offerings, the Mastery Journal, because I think that would be something that would be of real value to our Hell Yes Lifers out there. Can you please explain what the Mastery Journal is and why you decided to create it?
So I think as entrepreneurs, we need to recognize what our strengths are. I mean, we all, myself included, have so many weaknesses. And that's it. That's just the reality. We have weaknesses. Well, why focus on those? Why not instead look at the strengths where you're already great and become even greater? So kind of looking inside for me, I realized that I was really good at being productive, disciplined, and focused on a day-to-day basis. And I realized that a lot of people struggle with one, two, or sometimes even all three of those things. So I said, how about I create the solution, a step-by-step guide that will teach people how to master productivity, how to master discipline, and how to master focus in just 100 days. So I spent all of 2016 doing my research, getting deep into the Pomodoro technique, Parkinson's law, Pareto's principle, you name it. I was going deep in these things, and I created a system, which I am incredibly proud of. It's my best work ever, that is now known as the Mastery Journal, so that you can follow this step-by-step guide and master productivity, discipline, and focus in 100 days.
That is awesome. Sounds super valuable. Can you tell us a little bit about each of those areas? So productivity, discipline, and focus. And you mentioned quite a few different things that you were researching there, but tell us about productivity.
Let's talk about productivity first. What are you producing on a daily basis that's actually meaningful, that's moving your business and your life forward? So many people, Norman, are just so busy. They're busy all day long. They get to the end of the day, they look back, if they even look back, and they say, what did I really accomplish? Sadly, most of them have been on what I call OPA all day. That's other people's agenda. Answering their emails, social media, requests, ask, help me, do this, do that. That's part of life. I get it. I do that every single day as well, but only after I produce the right content for me, for my business, for my audience first. The best part of my brain cells, it happens at the beginning of the day, period. So that is what it means to be productive. You're producing the right content.
Great. Would you say that, do you block out time in the morning? You kind of do that. I know there's that book, The One Thing, for example, that says like, okay, what's the one thing I want to get done today? And I do it first.
Absolutely. I follow the Mastery Journal process, which is all about crafting and carving out focus time. But just as important, it's about carving out refresh time when you're jumping into ESPN or going to theskim.com, like whatever it might be, as a little guilty pleasure to give yourself that break after you've already sat down, focused, and crushed one of these focus sessions. So every single day, I have 4 focus sessions, which again is outlined within the Mastery Journal. And that's what I do. And I get more done in those 4 sessions than I used to get done all week.
Awesome. Okay, so tell us about the next area, discipline.
Think of the word disciple. And this comes from my military background, but I was very disciplined when I launched EOFire. I was not super productive and I wasn't necessarily focused. I had to develop those skills later. But I was really disciplined, and that helped in a major way with EOFire success. So what is discipline? Discipline is you setting a plan at the beginning of every single day and then executing that plan step by step by step. You are being a disciple to your plan, and you are executing that plan every step of the way. So few people even have a plan, Norman. They just, again, they let the world throw things at them and they're just playing catcher all day long. Catcher, catcher, catcher. If you are failing to plan, you're planning to fail. That's it. There's no other way about it. It's very binary. So if you aren't currently following a plan every single day, you're planning to fail. And so, by the way, part of my plan every single day is to get into my email and answer other people's agendas and to go on social media and interact and do that, but in a very structured way on my time.
Oh yeah. I love that idea of being a disciple, a disciple to your plan for the day. So that's a great way to put that. Okay. Now tell us about that third area, focus.
Follow one course until success. Focus. It's an acronym. It's the words that I live by. We are all getting sunk every single day by those weapons of mass distraction because they're everywhere. Our phones are dinging. Our browsers are flashing. People are knocking on our door. You name it. There's distractions everywhere. And if you let those distractions distract you, you're going to lose. So you have to get very focused, very disciplined, and very structured in how you are focusing. And there's a great app that I recommend called SelfControl. It's something that allows you, with one click of the button, to block you off from everything. You're blocked off from the internet, except for the one site that you're on, if you need to be online for your session. You're blocked off from all social media, put your phone in airplane mode, and for that whatever focus session time that you have, for me, it's 42 minutes. Whatever your focus time session is, nothing else can distract you. There's nothing. Even if you wanted to go online, you can't. You can reset your computer. You still can't go to those websites because SelfControl App blocks you.
Oh man. Okay. We'll be sure and include a link to that in the show notes. Awesome stuff. Why is, you say in 100 days, I noticed that for this and for the Freedom Journal. Why is that part important? 100 days.
So we need to time block because Parkinson's law will tell you very simply, tasks will expand to the time allotted. And sadly, most people never allot any time to any tasks. So guess what? They expand exponentially, indefinitely, and it just goes on and on and on. So you have to have some kind of time boundness to everything you do. With the Freedom Journal, I give you 100 days to accomplish your number one goal. And of course, I lead you every single day with daily tasks, 10-day sprints, quarterly reviews. We got you covered the whole way through, but by day 100, you will accomplish your number one goal, period. The same thing with the Mastery Journal. I don't want you to spend the rest of your life mastering these 3 skills. I want you to have them mastered in 100 days. And so with the Mastery Journal, you will master productivity, discipline, and focus in 100 days.
Awesome. Sounds like a ton of value. You talk a little bit about the morning routine. Can you tell me a little bit about that? I know that that's been something that's been super important in my life. Tell me about your morning routine.
So you win tomorrow today, and that's actually how you end every day with the Mastery Journal is you win tomorrow today by writing out tomorrow's morning routine. That way you don't wake up in the morning groggy, tired, not really sure what you're going to do next. Like that's how most of us live. We kind of just stumble. We're like, oh, I know I'm going to make coffee at some point, but what are you going to do? Wake up with a plan in place. That's your morning routine. So I wake up every single morning. I know that I'm walking right down to my gym. I'm crushing 2,000 meters on my rowing machine. I'm maxing out on pull-ups. I'm coming back up, shave, shower, and then I'm sitting down. I'm meditating for 7 minutes. I'm journaling for 15 minutes. And then I'm moving into my first focus session of the day. That's my morning routine. I know that because I've written that down the night before, and I know what I'm going to win because we also have the one focus for tomorrow as well. So I go to bed knowing that when I wake up, I have my day laid out for me. And not my entire day, just the beginning part of my day. And it allows me to have some agility as things crop up. I know things happen. I get it. I live in the real world. But winning tomorrow today by putting that morning routine down and executing upon that, no matter what happens after your morning routine, you've already won.
That is so awesome. It's so great to get an inside look at your morning routine. I'll have to compare notes. So let's kind of go a little bit broader now. I'd like you to tell me about a time in your life or before all your success. Maybe when you had you were up against a wall, you were facing a big challenge, you didn't know how to go forward. Maybe, a place where some of our listeners, our Hell Yes Lifers are in right now. And maybe, a place where you could have used your Mastery Journal. Tell us about that time and what you did.
Everybody's scared to press publish. We're humans. When it comes time to press that little red button, to press go, to press submit, to do anything, we have second thoughts, we have doubts, we have fears. And I'm no different. Back in August of 2012, I was supposed to launch my podcast. To be specific, August 15th. That was the date my podcast was going live. Everything was ready except me. I couldn't press the publish button because I had fear, I had doubt, I had anxiety. And so I delayed my launch for 5 weeks. And finally I launched, and of course everything was great. And, I got to build what I've built now, but it almost was self-sabotage before I even started. So listen, you're going to have resistance to pressing publish. Whatever that is for you, that pressing publish equates to, you're going to have resistance. Fight that resistance, embrace that, know that it's natural, you're a human being, and then rise above it and press go.
Take action, Hell Yes Lifers. You heard John say it. So now take us to that moment, whatever that moment was for you that was a breakthrough success.
So, I will say fast forwarding to the point where I actually started engaging one-on-one with my listeners. That was a huge breakthrough. I realized that, wow, where are my listeners coming from? Like, what are their struggles? What are their pain points? So I started at this point, it was about 3 months into my podcast, when people would email me and say, John, I found your podcast. It's pretty cool. I would say, hey, can I jump on a podcast? Can I jump on a Skype call with you real quick? And I would just jump on a one-on-one call with all of these people. And I would ask them, how'd you find out about me? And I would start hearing where people were learning about EOFire so that I could go and amplify those things. And then I would ask them, what are you struggling with? And I would hear what their pain points, obstacles, and challenges were. And that allowed me to start coming up with ideas to present solutions to them in the form of products, services, communities. And that's where all of my greatest ideas have come from having those conversations with my audience and then expounding upon them.
Right. Get out of your head and actually connect with your listeners, your audience, and see what they're actually struggling with and create solutions for them. That is awesome. Awesome stuff. So now I'd like to turn towards the future. You've had so much success in your life. It's hard to almost even ask this question, but I'm sure you've got a big vision for what you want to do going forward. And I call this your cringeworthy vision. And what I mean by that is a vision so big, it makes you cringe to even think about sharing it. Now I'm giving you a chance to do so.
Well, thank you for that chance, but I'm going to have to disappoint you and all your listeners because I don't have a big vision. I don't have this cringeworthy thing that I know that I want to accomplish and I just haven't yet. I mean, maybe that will come at some point and I will have this big vision that hits me, but I can't force it. Like I can't invent something that I don't currently have. I know that I'm always looking to push the envelope and to get outside of my comfort zone and to try new things like adding Snapchat and Instagram stories and Facebook Live and always doing these new things that makes me nervous and makes me cringe a little bit in the moment. But the reality is I do live my life in 100-day sprints because the world changes so fast. I don't know what's going to be cool or what's going to be rocking 6 months from now, let alone 6 years from now. So I don't try to spend time, energy, and effort predicting something that I have a pretty low chance of being correct on. So I don't have a huge vision. Again, I'm not taking myself out of the game by saying I'm not going to have one at some point. It just doesn't exist right now.
That is totally fine. Obviously, what's working for it's things are working for you. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But I will say, I get jealous sometimes when I talk to people and I hear, like Gary Vaynerchuk, he wants to buy the New York Jets. That's amazing. I'm a New England Patriots fan. I love them to death. I would never buy the New England Patriots, no matter how rich I was, just because I don't want to run the New York Patriots. I mean, the New York Patriots, the New England Patriots. Like, they're doing a great job on their own. Super Bowl champions.
Unbelievable. And so just to round things out, I want to know, like, what, you've already given us tons of great advice and tips, but any one last bit of advice or a quote or a resource that you would point our listeners to?
I would just say this. I would say if you want to be, do. Like literally do that thing. Whatever it is you want to be in this world, do that thing. You're going to be bad at first, like we all are bad when we first start anything, and just keep doing that thing. As far as resources, we have so many free and incredibly valuable courses over at EOFire.com. If you want to get into podcasting, webinars, goals, funnels, free courses waiting for you right now. So definitely go and check those out, EOFire.com. And of course, we've been rapping about the Mastery Journal, which you can find at themasteryjournal.com.
Awesome, John. Well, I know that we need to keep things limited today, so I so appreciate you stopping by. And to close things out, I'd like to say hell yes together on the count of 3. Are you ready to do that?
Let's rock.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Hell yes. All right. Thanks, John. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks for joining me for this episode of the Hell Yes Life podcast. You can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite RSS feed. If you like the show, please leave a rating and review. And if you want to stay connected, visit hellyeslife.com and sign up for the e-newsletter and private Facebook group. Again, I'm Norman Bell. Thanks for joining me. Now let's get out there and live a hell yes life.